Enough of the news. Glad you can join us, and welcome to the P.G.M show.
Hello and welcome to the P.G.M show. I'm your host, Peter P.G.M. And yes, we're looking at episode 8 of The Last of Us HBO original series. And we're looking at David and Ellie's story and how it was in the game and how it was in the TV series. It is absolutely brilliant. Stay with me and I'll tell you all about it. Let's talk about it. As we see Ellie in this, we'll talk about the game first. The game was just, again, I cannot help raving about this game and help raving about this TV show because it is just so beautiful, brutal, honest, and really upfront with everything. Yes, it has changes in the TV series. It had to, I suppose. I do have a little bit of a complaint, but not that much because I think this TV series saved it in a way. Having the aspect of Ellie have to go out hunting. She does, so she doesn't take the bow and arrow because he hasn't got one in the series. She takes a shotgun, right, with a scope on it to actually go and this is the TV series. This is episode 8. She goes out and hunts for deer, not rabbit at first initial stage. In the game, it was Ellie, shoots and kills a white rabbit coming out of a rabbit hole in a wintry scape of a small forest in a probably park area. Anyway, having that change, it didn't really take the focus off of the game for me, or off the TV series, or the episode, I should say. It just, I thought it was, I thought it, again, it saved it. And what I mean by saving it for me is it made it more of a fullness, if you get what I mean, a tenseness, a better tenseness. I mean, yes, a game is different than a TV series. TV series have to be shorter, and it has to be succinct, and a game can actually draw it out, and you have gameplay in it. So as to Ellie, then hunting in the game, hunting a deer, and with a bow and arrow, and then skirting through the forest, shooting it again about twice, I think, and then it goes into this old mill type area where she encounters David. Now David and James, of course, again going back to the TV series here, brilliantly played by Troy Baker, who played Joel, of course, in the game. Going back to the game, that mean they cut out the getting away from the clickers and infected, right? And the conversation where David and Ellie sat down and David told the story of a man and a girl together killing and slaughtering the people that didn't come back from a scouting mission. That was later from when they defeated all the clickers in a bloater that David and Ellie shot, killed, and blew up, and what have you. And that was cut. Anyway, we'll get to that. And then with that, then you have the game go into a sense of Ellie getting back to to Joel and giving the penicillin to Joel, but in the sense, in the conversation before that, David was expressing how he knew of this girl traveling with a man, and she got the penicillin, and that it led to then Joel getting the penicillin from Ellie. So she went back. Next morning in the game, then she gallops away through this small park, town, village thing, forest park area, where they had houses and things like that. And really galloping away, jumping over things. She's getting shot at by David's men, and all hell breaks loose. And then she escapes, and then you've got other gameplay. Now she goes in and over things, and she encounters David's men. She kills David's men, and then so there is gameplay, but not in the TV series. They didn't need to have that. Of course they didn't. Right? So there was the aspect of that fullness of the game, but in a TV series, in a TV episode 8, episode 8, they left all that out. Of course they did, but they still had aspects and essence of that game and the scenes there. In the game, David seems and is more sinister, as actually Nolan North played David in the game, and of course voiced it, and with Nolan North having a more of a sinister lilt to his vocals on this character David, you didn't even recognize him, and that really took shape as to being the bad guy here, with David kind of being nice to Ellie when Ellie's captured, and Joel realizing that Ellie has been captured. He is on the hunt for the whereabouts of Ellie. He doesn't really know, so he's on the whereabouts. And that's the gameplay sets up again where he's now following the line, probably the tracks, and determined to actually find out where Ellie is, and he is going through the same area where Ellie is around in that community. He shoots, kills, maims, you name it, and catches up with two guys that he fights, and he's wounded. Remember, Joel is wounded. He's just had penicillin. He's just had a real bad injury from from the same people that he's just killed, same group of people that he's just killed from the village, and then Ellie is trying to take care of him, but they're under this survival, but this severity, fairness of these people hunting them down and killing them or capturing them. As to the TV's episode 8, the David there tries to talk Ellie into become a leader because he can't do it on his own. The David there, but this one, he's just wanting to find Ellie, capture her, and then kill Joel outrightly. And then when Ellie's captured, she tries so hard not to actually listen and say, "Look, I'm not listening to you, David. Bugger off." Anyway, I won't swear. And then David is going on to these long kind of speeches here, well, a little speech here saying that, well, you know, we're not going to harm you. Here's some food. But we really need to know where David. We really need to know where Joel is. So that's the catch here. You see, Ellie's not going to give that away at all for no one. And sorry about that. And you heard in the background is loud nifty-50 or scooter going up the road. Sorry, I had to stop it. I restarted again. Anyway, it's not the point whatsoever. So what I'm trying to say is that the character of David in the game is more severe than the David in the episode. The episode David is a gradual sense of suspicious mind, the gradual fearful guy that you don't want to hang around of, or you don't want to actually question. There's a guy that is more vicious, more cold. So it's a gradual movement of his, let's say, train wheels in his mind that really go and off the rails, and it's really good. It is really good because you don't see this in the game. You don't see this in the David story in the game as to where he's come from, how his community works, and that's. I mean, you only see James, and you only see the men tracking Joel down, and then Ellie down in this game as well, and you only see really when skip to the point where Ellie gets really so smug in the game. David and James pin her to the table where they cut the dead bodies for distributing out to the community to eat, cannibals, and then she has to fake, or not fake, but try to get out, and she says to David that she's infected. Now so are you, because she bit David. And James is a lot more cautious than he was now, because it's an infection bite. Yeah, I think it's going to hit the fan, so to speak, and the cleaver is struck down onto the table next to Ellie's head. Ellie has the time to grab the machete, gets loose, grabs the machete, and strikes and kills James instantly, and then she gets away, and then the game starts again as to David has to go out and find Ellie.
Gotcha, asshole. Finish him off. Hold it still. Oh, shit. You can verify it. Go ask him. Go on. I tell you, I hate lying. I Fuck you, man. He told you what you wanted. I ain't telling you shit. That's all right. I believe him. No, wait! Wakey, wakey. Come on.
Let's go! Stop!
I warned you.
I'm infected! I'm infected!
Really?
So are you. Right there. Roll on my sleeve. Look at it!
I'll play along.
What'd you say? Everything happens for a reason, right?
What the hell is that? She would have turned by now. It can't be real. Looks pretty fucking real to me.
Ellie's escape into the winter winds, screaming, howling. She has to actually fight her way through and ends up. I'll just skip. She ends up in a restaurant kind of deal thing where there's a big concrete boulder-sized fireplace, very woodlog cabin thing like the deal. Tables all around, big kitchens, and so there is a community here as well. So in this fact, there is a sense of a village type area. If I'm making sense, probably making a lot more sense and repeating myself half the bloody time. Anyway, she makes her way there, and then but she can't open the door to get out and run to find Joel. She's trapped, and she's trapped by the man called David. David is more fierce and more absolutely dark in his approach to Ellie. He just wants to kill Ellie now. He is just full on wanting to find her because she escapes into this restaurant and she's forced to actually duck, weave very quietly in stealth mode and trying to actually stab David anywhere, preferably to kill him. So it's kill or be killed for Ellie. And for David, he just outrightly, fiercely, intimidates Ellie and such a good scene this, but such a brutal and very horrific scene. Well, all the while, Joel is still in this wintry wind, trying to find Ellie, trying to find where she is. So he's fighting other guys out there, trying to stop Joel, and he kills most of them. And here is Ellie back, avoiding and evading David. David is taunting almost Ellie, taunting her to come out, taunting to have that feel of manipulating Ellie to actually come out and everything will be alright, and where it's not going to be alright, it's so she gets David once, then twice, and 3 times by sneaking around, and then the 4th time she gets David, but really David throws her to the ground and hits her, and Ellie, the machete goes in and under a seat of a table, and she has to kind of crawl her way to that machete that has been hidden under the table, and she gets there, but really David kicks her, and she's at arm's length of this machete, and while David is wrestling with Ellie on the ground, she picks it up and she kills David in a ruthlessness and tirelessly vengeful way that she just hacks into David's head, and you can see the blood spattering on Ellie's face as Ellie is just almost in horrific torment, screaming, "Die, fuck you, die," and all that kind of stuff. And then you can hear David's screams. Sorry about that. But it's just brilliant how Nolan North, as David does this, is just brilliant. It's blood curdling to actually hear this. And then really Ellie's in a state of numbness. She's in a state of shock. Hits her immediately as Joel sweeps into this place that Ellie is in numbness and she can't hear anything. It's gone silent as to her shock, and she's in shock, and Joel kind of says, grabs her. She thinks it's another person trying to get her or kill her, and then it's Joel, and Joel comforts her and says, "No, it's Joel, Ellie, Joel, calm down," and then the story really finishes there, because it goes off to the next scene, I think. But it's beautiful in its brutality, it's brutal in its severity. How Joel and these people, Joel and Ellie, survive in this horrible wilderness of factions and these people, and it's just a kind of a testament, really, of how they will kill people for each other just to get to the Fireflies. That's how I see it. That's my opinion. Anyway, now let's get to episode 8. In episode 8, we see a different manipulative David in this episode. This more caring, this more cult-like leader of the scriptures, but not really. If we get down to it, when he says all this is just a show, David wants Ellie, and I'll explain it a little bit more, I'll just give you a little bit of a taste. When Ellie is captured, there is a very manipulative, a very fearful in the nature of come and join me sense of the word to Ellie from David, and more of a, yes, I'm a cult leader, but I don't want to practice the biblical sense, the religious sense of the cultness in me. I want to actually mold you in a sense of a leader, of a temperamental, fearful, manipulative leader that would lead strong in a sense of a cult leader would, of the people led by a cult leader. They're more fearful of the cult leader instead of a genuine pastor or priest or a vicar or what have you. David is, yes, he does pray when he's leading a service of a young girl's father who's died, and we find out later in the episode that they're cooking up this man who died, so they are eating people. As we follow Joel's journey on this episode, that Joel stumbles and goes into a shed or a campground shed with his canoes, and up is three people dangling on wires up on the roof, on the ceiling, sorry. And then, but there is a clear-cut storyline here that is threshed out with David's story, where what he is all about, and where James has come from, and where this whole community has come from. They've come from different sides of life that they get away. They've wanted to get away from Fedra or the Firefly, so they make their own community, but it really has got down to a cult leader sense of the word. And they're starving too, so that makes it a lot harder to actually really combat a cult leader like David is. If you get what I mean, that's my opinion anyway. But it is so good to see also James as a character, and yes, Troy Baker is playing this part, and he plays it beautifully, and he questions David once, twice, three times of getting rid of Ellie in this episode, because really they don't want her there. Someone's gonna come after Ellie. Someone's gonna either jeopardize what they're going through, and basically killing Joel and killing Ellie. I mean, they're cannibals, so there's maybe more to eat for these guys. I mean, the people in the community are so emaciated, so they're trying to survive on this. Anyway, to go back to Ellie and Joel, the hunting sense is different in the game. The hunting sense is that Ellie in the episode has got a rifle, and she hunts with a shotgun, as to Ellie is in the game hunting with a bow and arrow. So there's that. And when Ellie shoots the deer, the deer runs off and into a scene where Ellie is pointing the gun at James and David at this point. So the scene revolves in a sense of David giving the classic line to James, go and get their medicine, go now. So that's already been said, that's been said in the game, almost verbatim. But when they get the deer into the place where it's warm, because they set up a fire, David and Ellie sit there and maybe guarding. You don't see the gameplay of when David and Ellie get in trouble, so they're fighting off clickers and bloaters and infected. You don't get this. Of course you don't get this. We just take too long, won't it? Anyway, he gives the line in the game where that is put in there at this point in time, because that was put, the game was put in that conversation that Ellie and David had was put after they defeated the bloater and all the clickers and the infected. Where David says that he's heard of this girl and this man, and this man who killed some of his men, and due to that they're really wanted with this cult faction. And mind you, James turns up, and we can slide into the episode. James turns up because he's just gotten the penicillin for Ellie. Ellie stands up and says, "Back off," and then David just says to James, "Give her the medicine. Just give her the medicine, James, and let her go." And Ellie goes off to Joel. Getting back to Ellie and Joel, Ellie returns with the penicillin. She doesn't know where to stick the needle with the penicillin into his side or wherever. She tries to wake Joel up. Joel won't wake up, so she just stabs it, sticks it, and puts the penicillin into exactly where the wound is, and then lays down beside Joel. Continuing the story here of episode 8, and the fact that again, I love talking about this. I absolutely love talking about this because it is sometimes verbatim from it's taken from the game to the episode, and the finding of Ellie, of course, and the horrific death scene of David is just absolutely brutal in its nature.
Leave him alone. You're next. Please. I don't know any girl. Oh, Jesus! Marco. No. He can't help you. You focus right here, or I'll pop your fucking kneecap off. She's alive. Where? Fight! The town! What town? Silver Lake. It's not a real town name. It's a resort. A resort? You're gonna point to where we are and where your resort is. And it better be the exact same spot your buddy points to. That's where we are. I swear. Go ask him, he'll tell you. I'm not lying. No! Shit! Jesus! No! Why the fuck did you do that? He told you what you wanted. You motherfucker, fuck you. I ain't telling you shit. It's okay. No. I believe him. No.
no way out, Ellie. The doors are locked, and I have the keys. Ellie? Ellie! Ellie! I know you're not infected. No one infected fights this hard to stay alive. So, how did you do it? What's the secret? Or are you just that fucking special? No one likes being humiliated, Ellie. You don't know how good I am. You don't know what I could have given you. If you would just let me. Well, I have news for you. Neither one of us is dying today. You see, I've changed my mind. I've decided you do need a father. So I'm gonna keep you. And I'm gonna teach you. Ellie? You already knew. The fighting is the part I like the most. Don't be afraid. There's no fear in love. Okay, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Okay, the sum up. Sum up was this. Absolutely a work of art, piece of art, beautifully told by Mason and Druckmann, beautifully told by Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, and all the others as well. Good to see Troy Baker as James, fantastic. It was a good episode, brutal in its telling, even more so than the game, and they have done a fantastic job in the sets and the design of the locations, and the houses are just so good to see. It reminds me so much of the game, and so it should, and how it is almost verbatim for scenes some of the time, and changed at some of the time, but still the essence of this episode is with David and Ellie and the fight of the mind, and then physically she found the physicality within herself to actually defend herself and kill David in a most ruthless way. It really had to be done. He was going to rape her, and really had to be done. The deed had to be done. And when we get to episode 9, it does cause her to have an effect of what's the word I'm looking for? Soldiers have it. Anyway, I'll search around for that word in my mind. Post-traumatic disorder syndrome, something like that. And that's episode 9. But really, this episode was so good, so good of its telling. I enjoyed it immensely, and I cannot rave enough about it. Please, if you haven't seen this on HBO, if you haven't got HBO, if you like the telling of the story, even the gameplay of The Last of Us game, you have to see this show. HBO original series, of course, over in most of the world. Here in New Zealand, it is Neon. I would like to thank everyone who viewing the next one as episode 9. That's the finale. Anyway, from me, Peter Gordon McKinnon, from the P.G.M show, please stay safe. Take care out there, everyone. God bless you all. See you later.